Hi everyone, in this video we are going to talk about physical properties which can be divided into additive properties and non-additive properties. So what exactly is additive properties? Well, additive properties are those properties when we add up and the summation of it is actually known as additive properties. So what do we mean by that? Well, let's say 1 plus 1 equals to 2, right? That means it's an additive property because we are adding it 1 plus 1 and then it becomes 2. What about non-additive properties? Well, it is those properties where we add up and the summation of it is not actually the non-additive property. So what we mean by that is that when we are equaling 1 plus 1, or the non-additive properties, when we add two non-additive properties, the summation of it doesn't equal to the properties that we may expect, or the summation that we may expect. Now it would be more clear when we talk about some examples. So first, let's talk about mass. Mass is an additive property. Well, how? Well, for example, like you go to groceries and you get some vegetables, for example, tomatoes, and let's say you take 2 tomatoes, okay, and each one of them weighs maybe 1 kg, and you buy 2 of them, so of course it's going to be 2 kgs, and you buy 3 of them, it's going to be 3 kgs. So what we are saying, when we are adding these masses, okay, it's being added up, okay, the total of it is being added up. So mass is actually an additive property for that reason. What else? Well, we have volume. So how is volume an additive property? So for example, okay, you have, let's say 1 liters of milk, okay, and you want to make some protein shake, okay, and then you realize the instruction, it says you have to add 1,500 milliliter. So what do? You put 1 liter before, and then you put 500 milliliter into the bottle, and what does it become? So 1,500. So volume is also something that is additive property, because once you're adding it, it actually becomes more. What else? Well, area. Now, this is also pretty obvious. For example, you have an apartment where you live, let's say 2,000 square feet, and you want to buy the apartment in your neighbor, and you buy that. So what does it mean? Okay, so your apartment now is going to consist of maybe 3,000 or 4,000, depending on your neighbor's area. What else? Well, we also have energy. Well, how? So for example, you eat bananas, and bananas have 70 calories, okay? So you eat 3 bananas. So how much calories are you taking per day from bananas? Well, you are taking 210 calories. So that is also an additive property, because when we're adding it, okay, when we're adding, we are actually getting the summation of these properties. What else? Well, force. Well, for example, you have to move a box that is 50 kilogram, and you have a friend that weighs 30 kilogram, and he's trying to push it, and it's not really helping. And then you get this bulky guy who is like 80 kilogram, and 2 of your friends are now actually pushing the box, okay? Now, you see, 2 friends are now pushing. Before it was 1 person, and now you have 2 person that is pushing. And this guy weighs 80, and this one 40, and this one is only 50. So they both are pushing, and this is definitely gonna move now, because you are adding these forces. So that is also an additive property. So now let's talk about non-additive properties. Could you think of some of the non-additive properties? Well, the first one is actually temperature. Now we have to think, how can temperature be a non-additive property? Well, let's say this is a room, okay? And the room temperature, let's say it's 20 Celsius degree, and we have 2 people inside this room. Now, if you know that body temperature is like 37, so this guy is 37, this guy is 37, right? Now, just think about it. When you have 2 person in the room and they have their own body weight temperature, does the room temperature change? It doesn't. So the room temperature stays the same regardless of the people that is inside this room. So temperature, right? It's not an additive property. So because like we have 37 here, and then we have 37 here, so it should add up. So maybe the room temperature is going to be something around 37 plus 37. No, it doesn't work like that. And that's the reason why temperature is a non-additive property. And what else could be a non-additive property? It's pressure. Now we can also think in a similar context that we have a room, and then we have the atmospheric pressure, and we have, like, for example, here 1 atm, and here we have 1 atm. Now what is going to be let's say the room pressure? Well, it's not going to be 1 plus 1, not 2. Yeah, it also doesn't work in the same way. What else? Well, density. this is pretty interesting. So this is water. We have 1000 kilogram per meter cube. That's the density of water. And we have another water. And this is also 1000 kilogram per meter cube. And we add this up, okay? And what do you think is going to be the density? Well, it's still going to remain the same. It doesn't change. Now, when we're talking in context of volume, well, it will have, let's say, 2 liter, and this one has 1 liter, and that this one is going to be 3 liters. So the volume, that is an additive property, but not the density. And as you can see, it doesn't really add up. And now we are going to solve some questions that is going to make things a lot more clear. Okay, so if you have 2 volumes of water, 1 liter and 2 liters, you combine, oh yeah, we just did that. So what is the total volume? Well, it's 3 liters. Is this an example of an additive or non-additive property? Well, it is an additive property. Let's have solve another question. 2 objects at different temperatures, one at 20 degrees, the other at 30 degrees. If you mix them together, what will be the resulting temperature? Well, sometimes like when you think about it, oh yeah, 20 degrees plus 30 degrees, if we add them together, maybe it is going to be 50. Well, as you have known and learned that temperature is a non-additive property. So what will be the resulting temperature? Well, answer is I don't know. Well, if we don't know, how can we find out? Well, you see, it's a bit complicated. Like, we can find out based on the specific heat capacity as well as the mass. But we are not going into that because we are just going to talk about additive and non-additive properties. So yeah, so we don't know because it's a non-additive property. So we actually don't know what will be the resulting temperature. I hope this video made everything clear. And if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, please do like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And do leave a comment on any confusions you have or any topics that you'd like me to cover in the future. Thank you for watching.